She's doing it with you.
Yeah. So we've been living in our tiny house for a full week now, and it feels great. It's so cool to be living inside of a house that we built with our own hands. We're not done building, of course, but we're to the point where we can actually live inside of it, and it's warm, cozy, it's dry, and it's much better than living in the tent in our van, especially as we're moving into winter now. So one of the reasons why we quit traveling full-time is that we want to live more sustainably. Building a tiny house here in Poland means we can create a self-sustainable homestead where we impact the environment as little as possible, and that is going to be our goal moving forward. I talk about this more on my blog, lisalansing.com, so feel free to check out my post on there. So in this video, I'm going to show you all of the trash we had from the past week. That's just a way for us to be accountable for the waste we're producing, and I also hope it'll serve as like a learning experience so we all can learn how we can minimize our trash moving forward. I feel like we're doing okay when it comes to minimizing our waste. We're both minimalists, so we don't buy stuff that we don't need. Depending on where we're living, sometimes we can have like next to no waste, especially when it comes to like plastic packaging. In Krakow, we did really well with that. We could buy everything from bulk bins, and we had our produce bags. So most of our food came without plastic. But in other situations, like when we were living in the van, or when we were living in the tent here as we're building this tiny house, our plastic waste just accumulated. And big disclaimer, we are not perfect. We are not at a zero waste point in our lives yet. We want to get to that point. This is our trash. A lot of the stuff you see, I'm sure we could do better, but we will get there down the road. So this is all of our trash and recycling from the past week. I'll go through everything. And then at the end of the video, I will talk about where we can improve and the steps we're going to take so we can minimize our trash even further in the coming weeks. Oh yeah, my jeans have a hole. Yeah, so to me, this is actually a lot of recycling, but I don't want to just justify the garbage because it can be recycled, because some of the stuff can't be, I don't think. I'm not convinced that the stuff actually will get recycled. You're just kind of like delaying it going to a landfill. And since we're not dealing with the trash, I don't really know what happens to it once we put it in the recycling bin. First thing are these cans. It's canned diced tomatoes. We use this every night for our dinner. We have like pasta every night. We might start having like steamed veggies in the evening instead of like a pasta sauce with pasta. Because that is no trash. It's just like potatoes, carrots, cauliflower, whatever you can find locally. Ooh, one of them has mold in it.
Oh.
And so the tomato paste cans, that's another thing that we could eliminate because we can buy tomato paste in glass jars. We just don't have a fridge right now. So once we have a fridge, then I will buy the tomato paste in like the giant glass jars. And we reuse those jars, so that'll cut down on these. And then we also have some like canned beans. So I think if we can find beans dried, not in a plastic package, then that will be my go-to instead of buying them in the cans.
Cans can be recycling 100%.
Yeah.
But you also have to use energy to recycle them.
Recycle, yeah. So if possible, it would be cool to eliminate all the cans and not have to use them at all. And then maybe when tomatoes are in season, we can try to make some, like we can jar them or something.
Yeah.
And try and see what that's like. This is for rice and this is for pasta. Where we're living now, we cannot buy this stuff in bulk bins. So that is unfortunate. In Krakow we could, but in here you have to buy it in a plastic bag or a box that has a little plastic window. So this stuff, I am not sure it can be recycled. It has a little symbol on it saying that it is one of the categories of recyclable plastic, but they're both number 5. But this is something that we can also eliminate because we were talking about just focusing on potatoes, because Poland is a potato country, so that's the main starch here. And you can buy them loose without any packaging at all. These we don't have to buy anymore because we like having loose leaf tea, so we don't really need these flavoring things. Because this is glass, but it also comes with like a plastic thing inside. Now, soy sauce is going to be difficult to let go of because I really like soy sauce. And here we cannot buy it in a container larger than this. There's no like Asian shops here. In Krakow, we could buy it with our own bottle and they would just fill it up for us. But here we can't. So I'm not sure about soy sauce. I don't know if I'm ready to let go of that. And making it at home is like a huge faff. I've looked into it, so I'm not sure what we're going to do about this. I really wish we could buy it in a bigger container. This, we're not buying tofu anymore because it comes in plastic packaging. And again, here we can't buy tofu in bulk like we could in Krakow. So we're just going to skip it for now. But I was using this to store one of my batteries, actually. So this is way old. For some reason, every box of pasta, no matter the brand, has a little window in it, which is really annoying because it could just be all paper, but they have to put a plastic window so you can see what the noodles look like. I don't understand. So hopefully moving forward, we can eliminate some of this pasta packaging because we will just focus on potatoes and then maybe save the pasta for like once in a while type of thing. We have plastic bags from bread. I would like to make my own bread. I started making chapati. Like before this week, we had a lot more plastic packaging from wraps because we were eating wraps every day. Now we're not buying wraps. We have homemade chapati, but we're still buying bread for breakfast, like for our toasts. There is a bakery nearby, so we might be able to buy loaves from them without a bag if we just go there with our own bag. We have some random papers here from like Kuba's guitar strings, some other assembly, like directions and stuff. This stuff we can just burn in the wood stove.
Since we're gonna need paper anyway to make fire, then...
Oh, this is a piece of plastic from that rice. And then we have other little random bits of plastic, like the plastic that comes around these bottles. This isn't gonna be recycled. It'll just go to the trash, so... Toilet paper roll. Which we buy toilet paper in single rolls. It's wrapped in paper, so there's no plastic packaging with the toilet paper. That's cool.
And those toilet paper rolls, they can be composted.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so these can be just thrown in the toilet and then we can compost it.
This is just a little piece of this bag. We buy nutritional yeast from this little organic shop, and it comes in bags. The bags are like lined with like a plastic, so that's another thing we'll have to figure out, is where we can buy nutritional yeast without plastic packaging. This is stuff for our bathtub, because Kuba installed our bathtub, which we bought the bathtub secondhand, but he needed the plumbing stuff for the drain, that's what he needed.
Unfortunately, all that stuff comes in
plastic.
In plastic packaging. You just can't get it in single pieces without it. Packaging
from our light bulb, so it's just plastic here and then paper. On here it says it's paper and then PET plastic, which is recyclable too.
And this is like LED bulb, so you basically buy it and have it forever.
Yeah. Oh, here it even says that the paper is widely recycled, but the plastic not yet recycled.
Oh, okay.
So that's something we could check too when we're buying stuff. If it says... We have wet wipe packages. This is something we're not going to buy anymore because we're not living in the van. We actually can wash ourselves in our bathtub every night. We won't need wet wipes. Yeah, this is a paper guitar string package. This is like a plasticky thing. It says number 5 PP. That's the same as these. There's actually a website on here that says the world's first string recycling program. Earn points for recycling your strings and preserving the planet. Learn more at playercircle.dario.com.
Never noticed that. Well,
so maybe we can look into that.
Yeah,
too.
I will definitely look into that. Yeah.
Because strings are metal, so you can recycle them. And then this is the packaging from Kuba's guitar wall hanger. So just plastic and paper inside of there. So we actually bought some forks and knives because we were using these like camping foldable ones. They're kind of hard to clean. So we bought new ones. And they just came with like this paper cardboard. It also has these little plastic clip things.
Yeah, zip ties.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because these aren't going to get recycled. Because, like, what happens with little bits of plastic? They just get thrown around when they're turning through.
I guess what you have to do is, like, put them in the bigger pieces of, like, let's say if you have bottles or something, then put them in so then they, like, melt them together.
But doesn't it have to be the same type of plastic?
I guess it would have to be, yeah.
See, that's one thing, that's the problem I have with recycling, too, is, like, you never know what's recyclable and what isn't. So then I'm like, well, do I put it in the bin? Am I messing up their system if I put something in that isn't recyclable? What happens to stuff like this where it's actually 2 different recyclable items? I don't know. We will just have steamed veggies. We will look for dried beans. Although we're having trouble finding beans not in a plastic bag because they all come in something like this bag here. So we'll hope to eliminate these, and then that'll also help us eliminate the packaging for the pasta stuff because we'll just buy potatoes. Potatoes are great. We won't have any more wet wipe packaging. We'll have less bread packaging because if we can buy bread at the bakery with our own bag, that's what we'll do, and then we'll eventually make our own bread. I think that's it then.
And the building packaging will gonna be less and less now.
Yeah. Because unfortunately with building this house, we did accumulate trash just from the building process, so we're really going to try to like minimize that as much as possible now that the house is up. But yeah, so now I'll just put this all back in here and then we'll go into the trash part, which I know it's mainly paper towels, Kleenex, and wet wipes, but I'll still dump it out just to see. Oh, Aika, no, there's insulation in there.
Oh, Aika, come here.
Go away.
Aika.
I forgot about the insulation.
Yeah, just little pieces.
Some of these are kind of wet, so I think I'll just leave them in the bag.
Yeah.
It's like a raw chocolate coconut bar. We really like these, but they're actually expensive. And I just made these myself. Because on the ingredient list, they have the percentage of each ingredient. So we just replicated them in a larger form.
And they're way better.
Yeah, it tastes good. So now we can just make them ourselves. These lentil chips, I love these, but I'm really going to try to not buy snack foods like this because I don't need them. I just wasn't prepared yesterday because we went to the shop and I was hungry, so I bought these. But I won't do that again. Buying spices and seasonings, they come in these little paper plastic packs, and this isn't recyclable because it's like both. We don't have a zero waste solution yet for herbs, so in the meantime we are going to order these in bulk from this organic shop. So we just ordered like a ½ kilo of dried basil. This is from bread we bought yesterday. It was discount bread, but yeah, this is not recyclable because it's like a blend. It's like wax paper and plastic. Random sock with a hole in it.
The hole is too big to stitch it up.
Yeah. I take medicine every day, and so I have to buy it in these packs. It doesn't come in another form. So that is something that I can't compromise. I'm going to keep taking my medicine in these packs, but these aren't recyclable, so I'm just going to have to keep producing these. We have paper from our toilet paper. This is actually recyclable. This is mostly wettish paper towels and wet wipes that we've used. This is insulation from our floor because Kuba cut a hole into the floor to put our drain in for our bathtub. We're no longer going to use paper towels. I am going to cut the shirts I have, the old t-shirts, into little cloths, and then we will use them in the kitchen.
Yeah, so we're just gonna use whatever we have. Paper towels.
Oh yeah, we have
and
some.
and then just not buy anymore.
And then after that, we won't buy anymore. I'm not ready to move away from Kleenex. I know you can use like handkerchiefs and stuff, but we buy Kleenex that comes in paper packaging. There's no plastic with it, so we're just gonna keep using Kleenex, and maybe down the line we'll reassess and think about using handkerchiefs or something like little ones, basically. What do you call these things? Bendy.
Yeah, clips.
For the bread that we can't recycle either. Paper receipts aren't actually recyclable because when they print them, it's like a plastic thing when they print them.
Yeah, but it must be something because they're like temperature something.
Yeah, so it's some type of plastic paper they do something to it to print out the receipts. You can't actually recycle those. Aika's really intrigued by this. She's like, you guys are so strange. Going through the trash. Oh, there's some incense sticks in there too.
He's just sitting in front of you, looking.
Alrighty, so I hope that's been interesting for y'all watching me sift through our garbage. I feel like it was helpful for us because we could actually see what we're producing.
Because it's kind of more eye-opening when you go through it and look at it and just put it away and you don't think about it.
Yeah, and if I do these videos regularly, that's a way to keep me on task with our like zero waste journey, and so I won't get too complacent in it, and I'll really have to focus on it and stay on top of it. But we're excited to be moving in that direction because now we actually can do that, and we can start a garden next year, collect rainwater, do something with solar down the road, so we can be as self-sustainable as we can and create as little garbage as we can. So that's our goal. And so feel free to check out my blog too, lisalansing.com, because I have a post talking about like why we quit traveling full time, and I'll be posting more about our zero waste journey and things we're doing to live a more sustainable lifestyle. So yeah. Alright, I guess I'll go, Aika. Let's try to do this thing.